Hi. Hi, everybody.
Oh my God, you're missing somebody.
Oh my God, it's only the two of them. We fired Con. We had a long talk, made a decision.
We felt that the lives of the people that work here and our lives were at risk with Con being here, so we had to let him go. So he is going to join the other company, and in a little bit, and then it'll be the biggest thing that happens in wrestling podcasting. So
I was going to say we put together a disciplinary committee.
Mm-hmm. Brian Danielson's on it.
Brian Danielson's there. And they made the decision that it's in our best interest to just let him go. Legally, we can't speak any further than that.
NDA.
He'll be back next week, though, probably.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Just Nick and I this week. What's up, you fucking marks? We haven't been here in a while.
You're not. Holidays.
Now we're here.
Holidays do holidays screw with you as much as they do with me?
Not really. I mean, so like Thanksgiving does, because like I'll just get that Thursday off, and it's weird to just have like a Thursday off, and then I just gotta go back to the next day.
Oh, you go back to work Fridays?
Yeah, bro. They don't give us nothing more.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. Well. If that didn't happen, it probably wouldn't mess with me. But
that makes sense.
I always look forward to either the final week of the year or the first week of the year, because I always take that full week off. So a solid 9 days off. So this year, I got to do it next year, but just trying to get through this month.
Yeah, I know. For me, like I used to do a lot of like traveling. I did a lot of traveling this year, but I usually don't. But like for Thanksgiving, I was in Florida with Con.
Right.
Then for Christmas, I'm going to be in Maryland with my mom. And so like traveling, like it takes up both like my headspace and my checkbook essentially, because it's like I got like all my money's dedicating to doing that traveling. So like anything else outside of that just sounds like a lot of just a lot.
Yeah, no, I feel that, especially because my wife and I think I've told you, we used to live in Maryland for 4 years. So that's what we did. Every holiday, we drove the 6.5 hours up here and then 6.5 down, and we were we'd only be up here for like 2 days, and then we're right back out. And so it's definitely a lot.
Yeah, no,
I now where we don't do anything on the holidays anymore. Thanksgiving, I'm not going anywhere. Like I don't know. I'm gonna cook here. It's just gonna be us. It's just another day. Christmas Day, we don't go out. We always do Christmas Eve. Her family has a big get together for Christmas Eve, so we always go over there for Christmas Eve, and then on actual Christmas Day, we don't go nowhere.
That's smart. I have too much family to deal with that, unfortunately. So I go see my mom on Christmas usually, and then Thanksgiving, like I said, I usually don't go anywhere. I used to when I was a kid, but I haven't done that in a while. So, but this year it worked out to go down to Florida to see Con, and then my girlfriend's mother lives down there as well. So we were going to try to see her too. So that ended up not working out because her mom got COVID.
And Con surprised you the week before, didn't he?
He did. So that's why we weren't that week either, because he came up and surprised us to hang out with us for the weekend. So that was fun.
Yeah. He told me about it because he was like, "Yeah, I don't know about the pod that week, so just letting you know." I'm like, "All right."
It literally, like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, saying what's up and like catching up with him, and I was like, "Well, you're gonna be here. You're gonna leave Sunday night. You can't do the pod." And he's like, "No, I can't." I'm like, "Oh shit, we gotta tell Hambone." I was like, "Okay, well." I was like, "Shit, man." All right. But yeah, so that's our little holiday side quest.
Yeah. We got a lot to talk about because we didn't talk about basically anything that happened for the final weeks.
Got Full Gear, Survivor Series, other news.
All right, well, let's start with Full Gear. Let's start with what happened first, which was Full Gear.
Chronological order.
Yes.
November 18th seems
like Are we going to go through all these?
I don't think we need to go all through the 0 hour stuff. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I think the MJF stuff's probably important, but I mean, Eddie Kingston beating Jay Lethal. I mean, no, that's not really like breaking news or something like
Right.
that. You know,
I think
like
we all
I
expected
think
it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I did not expect Jay to beat Eddie for that. Same with here. I mean, I figured Claudio would knock that out. I mean, it's not.
No. Buddy
Buddy's
flipped
not.
my
Buddy's
prediction,
a
but
fucking threat, but like he's not. He's not the top dog. You know, and he's not. Not compared to
I mean,
Claudio.
could be.
Could be, but
Maybe.
as of right now, he's like the third best guy in House of Black.
Wow.
Really.
I mean, you're not
Is
wrong.
that a hot take?
Wow.
Is that a hot take?
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
But
look, Brody got that dog. Brody got that bark going. That bark is over, bro.
It's so over. I think it's
fucking
hilarious
over.
how much the crowd just loves doing that with him.
Yeah.
Even I think it's funny like
TV,
when he's not even in the ring. They'll do like a pre-tape backstage, and as soon as he comes on, the whole crowd just starts barking.
Yeah. You know what's so funny too with Brody King? I saw that him and Darby Allin were going to be at some sort of like meet and greet signing or something like that, and I was praying to see like another one of their. Remember they like it was like a year ago, probably, when they were doing meet and greets, and they would fucking put Darby through a table and shit. Man, I was hoping to see more of that shit because that shit was so funny.
Yeah.
So we did not get an updated graphic for this.
Huh? We didn't.
We did not get an updated graphic for this.
No. But back to this though. I mean, you say, that Buddy's the third best in the House of Black, but he's
I don't know how to speak on Brody King's talent level compared to Buddy's though. You know what I mean? Like
I love Brody. I think he's a great big man.
I feel like Buddy's probably the least important member of House of Black, if that makes sense. There's got to be some type of fucking hierarchy, and Malachi's at 1, and Julia Hart now is at 2. So so that might be a hot take too, but I think it's true. I think you do Malachi. I think you do Julia. I think you do Brody because of just he's around a lot too, and then you have to go Buddy.
But does Buddy not get lifted up a little bit for the fact that he's engaged to Rhea Ripley though?
Yes,
I mean, he does.
It's a small margin between 3 and 4 there. That's for damn sure.
Okay.
For damn sure.
Fair enough.
But Claudio's Claudio though. So if you put him against Claudio, like the only person who's not a top dog in Blackpool Combat Club is Wheeler. So it's like
fucking Wheeler. I don't even want to talk about that.
I don't hate Wheeler, but like he's just not. There's not a lot going on with him.
No.
He just keeps winning titles too. He keeps winning titles. He's a pure champion again.
They're really trying with him. They're trying to get him there.
Bro, he's been like pure champion like 8 times. He's got to be the most decorated pure champion ever.
As a matter of fact, he is. He's a 3-time pure champion, and nobody's ever won it 3 times other than him. So
that's crazy. See, yeah, they're trying, bro. He's in the record books. That's all that matters.
I just love that they're addressing it now, though, with that promo he did where he was like, "Everybody loves Brian, and everybody loves Claudio, and everybody loves Mox, but nobody likes me." And I'm like, "Yeah, there's a fucking reason, you fucking nerd. You look like you should be fucking delivering my DoorDash. That's why."
Like shit, for real though. Yeah, I don't know. I have to give him credit though because he did come to there's a new indie promo here in Virginia, and he came to their opening night, which I thought was really cool. I wish I went. I did not get to go. It was him and Nyla Rose both were there. So that was super cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, dude. My cat's trapped in this room.
Sure. Like I'll hi everybody. Just me. Just the bones. Hi.
There we go.
Oh, hey, he's back.
You're good at stalling, bro.
I am a fucking professional, bro.
You kept the show going, It was very entertaining, enticing content.
I'm a professional podcaster.
we're always looking for clips. That's a clip right there. Put it up there, and just
that one's gonna get all the views. I'm not even gonna put that one up because it would just get so many views. Like, I don't want to make you guys feel bad or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we'd be inferior. Like you'd have all the clips and we'd have none. You don't want to do all that to us.
Yeah.
Especially Khan's not here. He's had a chance to participate in this one.
Well, I mean, maybe maybe one day he'll get his job back here. I don't know. We'll see.
Nah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see. And Samoa Joe.
It was Joe. I don't know. That was disappointing to me. I mean, I love Joe.
Yeah, my pick was Max Caster. I really wanted the Acclaim to kind of do it, especially with knowing like Max and Max's history a little bit. Like, I wanted that to kind of be it, but with the Devil kind of jumping them, it's kind of hard to, wrestle after that. Even though Adam Cole was going to do it with a broken fucking leg somehow, but
right, yeah, that was my thing too was that like I feel like I had the better idea for Joe to be his partner, which was not Joe like coming out, not them agreeing to it. My idea was MJF comes out, the match starts, nobody's coming out to be MJF's partner. So he starts like just getting his ass beat by the Guns for 5, 6, 7 minutes, and then there's a point where it looks like he's about to lose, and then Joe comes out and he tags himself in and just immediately goes in, clears house, beats the Guns himself, wins the match, and then forces himself into a world title match that MJF did not agree to.
Jesus. Yeah,
that I think would have been a better idea, but what do I know? Fucking Mark.
I was kind of hoping for somebody else. I don't know really what I was hoping for. I mean, I would have liked Max Caster. I would have liked, I don't know, but it worked.
They're really selling this Acclaimed and Daddy Ass injury, man. They ain't been on TV in weeks.
Yeah, well, the company does not like them, bro.
I was gonna say, remember when they were like the hottest thing in the company? Like,
we can talk about that, bro. They still get booked on buy-ins and 0 hours and all that bullshit. It was despite being trios champions, I was
gonna say they're champions too.
Yeah, tag team champions, trios champions, doesn't matter. You're still on the fucking buy-in. Doesn't matter how over you are with the crowd either. You're still on fucking buy-in. That makes no sense.
All right, so let's get to the main card.
This was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it basically went the way that I said it was. I said at some point, Christian's just going to leave. He's not going to fight Adam, and he's just going to walk out on the match. And that's what happened.
Yep. Yeah. Adam coming out with the other side of his face painted. That was really cool.
All of their gear was cool. The fact that they all had the matching jackets and shit, that was cool.
That shit was really cool.
My first reaction, too, was like, that Edge bought those because Darby has said himself, he was like, I get all my wrestling gear from a thrift store. There's no way that guy paid out of pocket to have a jacket like that made.
Well,
and Adam was like, "Nah, we got to do this, man." He was like, "No, I dress like I'm homeless." And Edge was like, "All right, I'll get one for you."
Adam probably had that coat in his closet. He didn't even buy that. He just happened to have it.
He had 3 of the same coats.
It was left over from WWE stuff of wardrobe or whatever.
Okay.
And they just took it and used it. Yeah. They don't own the wardrobe.
I mean, especially if it only said rated R on it, because
that's true.
They don't own that. So.
Yeah, they don't own that either. So you can't own that. But yeah, no, this is cool. I mean, what happened. I prefer Luchasaurus' new name. I don't know if you do. I think Switch is a way better name.
I don't mind the name change, but I think 2 things. First off, if you're going to change his name, change his look too.
Thank you.
But I actually think that whole rechristening thing, that would have been a perfect time to just drop the gimmick altogether.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
On your knees, take off that mask. Yeah. You're not going to be this stupid character anymore. And then give him a new name so that he can actually move on from being just a character that's not going to get anywhere but low mid card, because that's where
I wouldn't even mind him keeping a mask. Like, he can have a mask. I don't care about that. It's just this mask is just like, yeah, bro. It's just not. It's just like it's done for. Like it's.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Luchasaurus mask. I think it's one of the coolest masks in wrestling. But the gimmick is done.
It's the gimmick. Yeah, it's the gimmick that's
done. There's no more to do with this gimmick. It needs to go.
It had its time with Jungle Boy and them being tag team. Like, it made sense, but now it's just you're just hanging on to something that's not it.
Yeah. Yep. And can we also talk about that big that phrase we heard in 3D on Wednesday?
Oh God!
Heard that shit in HD.
Oh fucking Jesus! That was nutty, dude. I was on my phone, like, listening to it, right? And I'm just like, and then all of a sudden, I'm just like, go fuck. I'm like, what?
I literally had my phone in my hand, texting you guys, going, he should tell Christian go fuck himself, and then he did in the loudest way possible.
That F was so hard. Like, it was sharp. It was like a knife.
I heard every syllable, every letter. It was like it happened in slow motion almost. How I heard it.
Yeah, it was nuts. I was like,
it was the loudest, the longest fuck I've ever heard. Put it that way.
You know what's really funny? I have a thing about like sensory and stuff like that, like censorship and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, I think the beeping out things is worse than the actual word.
I mean, I agree with you. I think
because I feel like you hear it more, whether you like completely take the sound out altogether or you like beep, like you do that thing. Either way, that's worse than actually hearing the word.
I think it's silly too, because like we know what they're saying.
Yeah,
like everybody does. Like
I know what he said.
Yeah, like, you can sit there and you can tell yourself, "Oh, well, it's for the kids." And you're telling me the kids don't know what he's saying? I don't.
Yeah, no,
I don't believe you.
These kids are on YouTube and everything else. Like their whole world is on an iPad. Like, what are you talking about? They don't know these words. Like,
they are well aware of these words, and even if they weren't, I guarantee you, one of their friends in school told them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm all for like nudity censorship and stuff like that. Sure, don't be showing kids a bunch of shit like that.
Sure,
but cuss words and shit like that, that beeping shit is way worse because they're hearing that shit and they're like, "What did they say? What?" It just adds curiosity to that shit. But
right, yeah. They're just at that point. They're just gonna go seek it out anyway. They're gonna figure out, even if they didn't know, when it's something like that, they know, oh, that's bad. I'm gonna go find out what it was.
Right.
You know,
they're gonna go find the censorship anyway because they have full access to the internet.
Yeah. Yep. Right. Exactly. No, I agree with you.
Orange Cassidy. I'm glad he fucking beat me.
Was not as good as the first match. I'll say that.
No.
But nobody it ended the way it should have.
Yeah. He beat
that one went over.
The final boss, as Johnny put it.
Yes. And I like that. Did you watch Collision?
Last night, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really spoiling anything for you by saying
you can spoil it. I don't care.
But Moxley, he cuts a promo where he's like in the fucking hallways of the arena or whatever, and he's talking about like the.
Is he doing this thing? He's always standing like that.
No, he was sitting down, so he had his hands in his knees.
Yeah, he always stands like that. He's just always like, it's like, can't believe Orange Cassidy beat me at full gear.
Nobody ever taught him how to cross his arms or something. You know, so that's not how you do it, bro. You gotta. What are you doing?
Hey, John, cross your arms for me. Okay.
Maybe he was just never hugged as a child, and he's just
what he's doing. Yeah.
Giving himself.
Yeah. Well, you think Renee would hug him a little bit?
That's true. You would think
just
so.
A little bit.
You would think so, but he's always covered in blood. So,
have you ever thought about like Renee when John's doing all this crazy shit?
Oh yeah. You know what? Listen. This is gonna be messed up, right? But I'm gonna talk about it because I these are things that go through my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever imagine like them two having sex? Right? It's gotta be weird. Right? Because they just don't seem like they go together. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, it seems like John is like probably into some really weird, like violent shit in bed, and Renee's just all nice and Canadian, and I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. Thinking about them two banging it's weird to me. Doesn't make sense. That's all I'm saying.
You know what, Hambone? It's weird to me too.
There you go. There you go.
Do you ever think about John and Renee just banging?
Yeah.
And like, it's just weird. Like, no, Hambone, I don't. It's okay.
Well, now you do. So
I see why there's a bone in your
name. I
name.
want you to think about it, and I want you to report back.
I do think about like what Renee's reaction is to things that John does.
Sure.
Like the way he'll see Renee like being like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you acting that way?" You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But yeah, no.
You think he does like all that, like walking back and forth stuff, like at home? You know,
when he's talking to Mr. and Mrs. Paquette, you think he's just like, how you doing? You know, father-in-law. You know. You have to like respectfully decline a beer now because he like
yeah.
He only drinks blood.
You think Max is like hugging his in-laws? You know,
it's the one arm hug he does. It's that like
okay.
All right, there you go. Like
come on.
It's never the two arm. That's for damn sure. Yeah, no. Thank God. Toni Storm is champion again, and Hikaru Shida will fly away for 6 months. Yeah.
Oh, is that what's happening? Is she leaving?
She always does. Like when she's not champion, I never see her.
That's true. You know she does tend to disappear.
She goes to lower than the mid card and does random shit and runs around with a kendo stick. That's what she does. And then all of a sudden she gets a title shot and wins.
Listen. That's AEW's MO though, bro. That is AEW's MO. Get somebody hot, and once they're hot, bring them the fuck down. Look at the Acclaimed. Look at Wardlow, just over and over and over. There's a million examples of them doing it. So
I guess I just missed the part where Hikaru Shida is hot because I don't see that. Like I'm not the biggest fan of her.
Yeah, no, neither am I. But I'm telling you, dude, these people love her.
Well, you saw her at the Starcast thing, right?
Yeah, I worked with her, and her line was longer than it. People just kept coming the entire time we were there. Like Ricky Starks and Willow, like there were times where there was down times, and I was just like sitting there shooting the shit with them. Mm-hmm. Not her, just constant people, just constantly coming. It's crazy.
I mean, that stuff like that always just like surprises me, like how like big the world actually is, because it's like I'm not a fan of her, so it makes me feel like a lot of people aren't really a fan of her, and I'm totally wrong, you know. So it's like,
no, I feel the same way about her. She's just damn for me. She was there, but let me tell you, every person who came up to her at Starcast told her she is the best women's wrestler in the world. Everyone.
Interesting. I would love to know what their top 5 is and top 10 is, and
it's all Joshis you've never heard of.
There you go. See?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like the way that it ended, besides the fact that, you know, Toni couldn't keep it in her pants. What is that phrase weird? Is that a weird phrase? for somebody watching who didn't watch and doesn't know what I'm saying.
I didn't know what it was at first. I missed the handoff of it. Mm-hmm. So when it was happening, I'm just seeing like this plate coming out of her fucking pants.
Right.
And I'm like, what is happening? I was like, in my head, I was like, I know that's not like a butt implant or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I know that's not like, that doesn't happen like that. So I was like, what is that? And so I was like,
that's not how those work.
Yeah, I was like, that's not how that works.
Not how they work.
I was like, yeah. So I was like, what is that thing? And then finally, I think Khan explained it to me. I was like, oh, they handed like a skillet or something. And I was like, okay, well, that's weird. Yeah. But yeah, so Toni Storm is probably one of the best things happening in AEW right now. And I'm really glad that she's champion. I'm glad they strike while it's hot instead of just like, oh no, let's make this awesome. And then like 6 months from now, when she's starting to die down, then they make her champion. because I see that a lot too.
Right. I mean, mostly what
In
they'll
any
do
company.
is 6 months from now, she'll lose it, and then she'll go to the lower mid card, and then
That's
they'll be
true.
like, "Oh yeah, you weren't even champion just now."
That's true. She'll be nobody.
Yep.
Weird. It's a weird thing. This surprised me.
How so?
I just don't. I'm not following the Big Bill Ricky Stark story like that. So like, I mean, I like Ricky Starks, and Big Bill's Big Bill, but I just
Big
any
Bill
of
be
these,
Big Billin',
he just be Big Billin', I can't hate on it. I don't love it, but I can't hate on it.
Sure.
So I just feel like any of the other people in this match was a good contender to put, the tag team titles on, a real tag team.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Ricky and Big Bill just doesn't give me that vibe right now. And I guess they are because they've very successfully defended it between, especially FTR and House of Black.
Yeah.
I'm not too big on Roosh and LFI, but FTR and House of Black are like certified in my fucking head. So like,
you already know. Like, I really would have liked to have seen House of Black win it. I wanted a full sweep. That didn't happen, but I mean, I love Ricky Starks. I do like this little team of him and Big Bill. I like Bill being his heater. So I'm fine with it, but I agree with you that it doesn't really. Again, I said I thought that they only really gave Ricky the tag titles just to keep him happy because they're not ready to push him. They're not ready to insert him into another championship thing yet because they already have their plans and they don't want to, change them. So it was almost like, well, here's this. Don't leave. Don't sign over there.
that too.
That's kind of how I feel about it. But so it doesn't feel like the story's really going anywhere, and I think that's why. Because I don't really feel like they had a plan. It was just like, hey, here's the consolation prize for now. We'll keep you on TV, but we don't really have any story with it.
And I think it gives that vibe too. Like, we know that this is not what Ricky Stark should be doing. Everyone knows it. I mean, like, so we're watching it like this isn't it. Like, he should be TNT champion, or or he should be going after this Continental thing. He should be going after Orange Cassidy. He should be going after MJF. He should be doing any of this stuff, and he's just hanging around with Big Bill as a tag team champion. I don't. It also just makes the tag team champions look like nothing to me. Like, because we know that Ricky's not supposed to be doing this, so we're putting a title on somebody that's just probably shouldn't have it. Right. And it's a weird thing for me, Yeah. It's the same way you said, like, the trios champions, it's like this. It's like the tag teams are like that now. Like it's not,
it doesn't. It's almost becoming their tag divisions are almost becoming WWE like, where they're just throwing people together who aren't actual teams or factions, and like we're starting to notice it because even in WWE when they do that, like you're like, yeah, this doesn't feel right because they're not an actual team and you're not actually doing anything with them.
Right, and so
go that way a little bit too.
And I feel like there's a lot of not just tag teams, but teams in general within WWE. So, like, why or AEW, excuse me, but why would we put them on just two guys we kind of stuck together for whatever reason? Right. I don't like. I just would. I would just much prefer House of Black have all the gold.
Yeah. No, I agree with that too.
Yeah. Like, I just think Julia Hart having it, those two having it, and then you go give Buddy something from Ring of Honor, maybe, or whatever. Whatever you want to give him, I don't care. Yeah. Like, he could beat. Who's TNT champion right now? I don't even know. That's crazy. That's fucking nuts. That we don't even fucking know. Hold on. I bet you we know, and we're gonna feel stupid here in a second. Hold on.
I'm going to. I know I will.
Hold on.
Wow.
Oh, we're stupid as fuck. It's Christian.
Oh yeah, there you go, that guy.
You know what though? That title has been like an asterisk on that story. Like, I don't care that he's TNT champion or not. That shit's fire. I don't like. Right. I don't need. he can lose the title and I'd still be interested.
Oh, he's definitely losing that to Adam.
Yeah.
Ain't no fucking way. But
For
I
sure.
also like, because I am such a huge fucking House of Black, Mark. Like, they're one of
Yeah,
my
me
favorite
too.
things in wrestling. I hope they never break up.
Mhm.
And I still feel like they took the trios titles off them way too early.
Yeah.
I know that they did it because they wanted to give that to Daddy Ass and fucking Wembley and blah blah blah. And whatever. Like, I still
Yeah.
think it was the wrong move. I still think they had a lot more to do with that and should have been just a dominant trios faction with them. But
I feel like House of Black's gonna go get that back at some point. It may be like Revolution time or maybe World's End. I don't know if they have anything going for that yet. I don't know if Acclaim's even ready to go, but it could be World's End thing where House of Black goes after Acclaimed again.
I'd like
They
that.
lost this. Buddy lost his match. You know, let's.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I think it's time for Acclaim to kind of drop Daddy Ass anyway. I feel like the whole thing's kind of run its course a little bit. I don't feel like fans are behind it as much anymore.
I think
which might be AEW's fault a little bit, but
I think if Billy wants to do that for like his last year, then you just do it. I think he's a legend enough to where if he's just like, I just want to run around with the Acclaimed for a year and then I'll be gone. You know, it's like you just give him that. You know, and so in the Acclaimed, I haven't lost any love for the Acclaimed, whether or not they're running around with daddy ass or not having or like having titles, not having titles. That doesn't bother me with the Acclaimed. I know that they're good. Yeah. So like, and I feel like a lot of people feel that way. So if he just wants to run around with them for, you know, his last year, it seems like he's almost out of here, you know, then let's just do that. And then once Daddy Ass retires, then we can figure out what to do with the Acclaimed again.
I was going to say, like, I mean, you really could even think about that. Like you said, World's End, House of Black beats him, and then that's officially his last match. Because, I mean, think about it, he has been with the Acclaimed for at least a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. So they gave him that one big win. That was kind of his last big show of his career, and dropped the title of the House of Black at the very last show of the year and be done.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of where I have my asterisk on that. Like, if he was like not retiring or not doing anything, I'd probably be with you. But if he's out of here soon, then just let him run around, do what he wants.
Sure.
Yeah.
We didn't update this one either.
No, we didn't. So it wasn't Red Velvet if you didn't watch. It was Sky Blue. I'm so disappointed in the Chris Statlander reign. I feel like I've been pretty vocal about how I like Chris Statlander on this podcast. I was definitely like itching for her to take that shit off Jade because I felt like she was the only person who was capable of doing it. Like, Jade just seemed unstoppable when she was here. So it had to be somebody that made a lot of sense. And Chris had the right build. Chris had the right, you know, like, she was over before she got injured. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, when she comes back, she'll get it. It'll be it. And that's exactly what happened. And then it just fell flat. And nothing happened. The coolest thing she did was when she bench pressed Renee. Yeah. In that interview. So, and then when you got Julia Hart over there with the greatest entrance in wrestling right now, and is incredibly over, and you just gotta again strike while the iron's hot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked Stat too. I mean, I watched her first match in AEW before she was even signed to a contract, and was like blown away by her in the ring. I was like, oh my god, this chick is awesome! Like, they need to sign her. And she had so much momentum before getting injured a second time. I mean, she had those back-to-back injuries, and she really just lost a lot of momentum with it. And then coming back without the alien gimmick, and no one really knows what her gimmick is now. Nobody really knows what this more than a woman thing is. And
that was a big thing for me too, was that when they killed the alien gimmick, that didn't make sense to me at all. I mean, that could have been her call.
I think it was, yeah.
So, but like, I don't know. I thought it was cool. I thought it set her apart. I didn't think it wasn't too campy. Like, she did it pretty well. Like, so it wasn't like, it was well enough to where, like, I was, you know, like, I'm in belief of it. You know, like, okay, you're an alien. Like, cool. Like, but you're not like, you know, like, oh my god. It wasn't weird. It was okay, you're an alien. Got it. And then when you come back from the injury and you're not the alien anymore, it's like, well, now who are you?
What are you? Yeah, exactly.
Because you never introduced yourself. You just came in here, beat Jade, and now you're TBS champion. Like that's not a gimmick.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
and I think that was part of the problem too. She just came back and she was just a person. Is that like I know there are a ton of stat fans out there, like very like stat stands, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But realistically, I mean, the best thing about her is her in-ring skills. She doesn't have like a shit ton of charisma. She's not very good on the mic. So you take away that gimmick, and now she's just a person. It's just she needs something else, and I feel like that just the fans saw that, and that's why her reign was just underwhelming. And then, like you said, you got Julia Hart, who's coming out with this amazing entrance music and a great gimmick, and she has greatly improved over the past year. Like, that was the right decision, was give her the title.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep. And unfortunately for Sky Blue, I think Sky Blue's almost there. I don't know if you feel that or not, but she's almost there.
So I feel like she's getting better.
Definitely getting better.
You know, I still don't really know what this gimmick is, other than
I don't know what this thing is where she's got the dark makeup and she's wearing Scooby-Doo stuff. I don't understand what that is.
Well, that's changed now.
Is it different?
She's got all new gear and a new. She doesn't wear the hat anymore. She's got this crown thing she wears now. She's got new music.
Oh, I missed all that.
Oh yeah.
When's that? When that happened? Like last week?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta watch. I gotta pay attention to it, I guess. But as of right now, like I don't know what she is, what she's doing. I mean, if it's a revamp, it's gonna help. Then let's see. But
since you have not watched Collision, she's getting into a feud with Toni Storm now. So
I did see that.
Yeah,
you're right. So. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Okay. Yeah. So now she's got a title feud. That's cool. See, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, I think she's been around long enough. I feel like she's she's been doing the work. She's paid her dues. I feel like she's done everything right. Essentially, she's stayed on. She's been interesting a little bit for somewhat. She had the little social media thing with her ass, and that helps.
It was funny because I mean she's almost just leaning into that now. The thing, the whole, the fact that just everybody talks about her body, basically. They did on Collision, they did a interview with Toni Storm where they asked about her, and Toni Storm said whatever, and then she did the whole chin up, tits out, blah blah blah, and then they did Sky later, and Sky cut her promo, which probably the best promo she's ever cut. I'll be honest with you. And at the end, he was like, so I'm going to keep my chin up. She goes, I'm going to keep my tits out, and I'm going to shove your shoe up your ass. And I was like, okay.
All right. Talk your shit, Sky. Yeah, I'm interested in Sky right now. I'm not done with her or anything. Like, I think she's close to being like kind of right where we're like talking about her like we are Julia right now. Like where we're like, okay, she's almost there. Like, because Julia wasn't there until about 7-8 months ago.
And I agree with you. I mean, a lot of people like a lot of the our Wrestle Talk friends that we have made, they call me out all the time because I have made it very clear that I am not a Sky Blue fan. But a year and a half ago, you could have said the same thing to me about me with Julia Hart.
Right.
And it's not necessarily that like I just dislike them. It's just you need something. You need to do something, like Julia Hart was a cheerleader, and I'm like, it's 2023. Yeah. Like, what are nobody wants to see that. Yeah. And then she was just there. Yep. She had no gimmick, no nothing. And it's just, okay, what am I? And it was clear with Sky that the only reason that people were behind her was because she had a nice ass on her. Now she's changing a little bit. Now I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. I still wouldn't say that I'm a fan of hers, but 6 months, ask me again. She might, change and make me a fan.
I'm not a fan yet, but I'm leaning towards it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with her right now.
Sure.
Red Velvet, on the other hand, could go back to whatever she was doing before she came to this fight.
I like Red Velvet.
I don't see any interesting factors about Red Velvet at all.
I think it's pretty crazy how, you know, her and Sky had that match a couple weeks ago. I think it's crazy that Red was gone for like a year with an injury and then came back and was better in the ring somehow. How do you get better when you're injured? I don't know how that happened, but she did. They just need to do something with her. She would have been way more interesting if they had kept the baddies together and actually done something with them.
Yeah,
other
I
than
agree with that.
Jade's jobbers, because that's all they were.
I agree with that.
Another group that had a lot more potential. It just went, no, you're just going to take losses for Jade so she doesn't get pinned, and then we're going to break you up for no reason.
Yeah, they definitely screwed up the baddies. The baddies was very over, and they just I mean, they made them feud, and it was Mark got in the way, all that shit. It was a lot. They could have just stayed the baddies for a longer time, and maybe done the feud along the line or something like that. But
yeah. Oh boy. Do
we have to censor this picture at all?
I don't know. Do we have the picture?
I don't have any pictures, bro. I'm just making sure that we don't have to censor this because of just what this and what.
Just in general.
Yeah,
like don't watch this match.
Listen, if you have any like a fixation with blood or something, like anything that like you don't like seeing blood or squeamish or whatever it is, do fucking not watch this match. If you love that type of shit,
if you're really if you're one of those people that loves deathmatch wrestling, which I am not, this match is for you. But
you know what's funny? My girlfriend is.
Yeah?
Big into the fucking deathmatch. She can't ever wait for that damn the bag of push pins to come out.
There's something about women and blood. I'm telling you, because I have a friend of mine who she watched wrestling when we were younger, and she, like me, was a huge Shawn Michaels fan. And there's this, like, I think it was, I want to say it was Hell in a Cell with him and Undertaker in like '97, where Shawn got busted open bad. Like, I mean, that boy was leaking. And she says all the time that like seeing that was like a sexual awakening for her.
All right.
Like, I got a poster of his face, and it was on my wall, just of him bloody. And there's just something about it that even seeing it now, she was like, I'll get all revved up about it. I'm like, okay.
What the hell?
Yeah, but okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah. My girlfriend doesn't have all that going on, but she does like that shit.
Yeah.
She does like that shit. We definitely when we watched this, when Con came to surprise me, this was during this, and we were at our friend Red's house, and her cousin was there. Her cousin's like 16 or 17. Like 16 or 17-year-old girl, right? She's watching this match, and like her mom is like calling her to like, because they're about to leave. It's like what was it, like 10 o'clock at night? They're about to go home to their house, right? And they're like, come on, we gotta go. And she's like, I gotta finish watching this match. I swear we made her a fan that night. I don't know if she's ever watched wrestling before that, but it was like, goddamn, like she was sitting there glued to this fucking match.
Yeah, I mean, we were all, we're in the text chat, and we were all saying it like, all right, enough. Like, you kept thinking that it was over and that they were done, and then they just weren't, and they just topped it every single time. We were just like, all right, this was, again, I'm not a huge fan of deathmatch wrestling. I liked this because it fit the story. It wasn't over the top violence just for over the top violence.
There was a reason.
Yeah, these two did some personal ass shit to each other, and this is the end of it. They're gonna fucking hurt each other. It makes sense.
When Swerve took the chair,
swung
it, and the barbed wire wrapped around his.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This was. I said it to you guys. Like this was right on the line of just too much for me. It really was.
Oh yeah, no. If they had like kept going and like when Swerve was stapling himself. I was like, oh, we're in for it, dude. Because that was early. That was like the beginning. I was like, oh no, we're in for it, bro.
I was taken aback when Hangman was stapling them for real.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Usually when you're doing that, like especially on like a major promotion, that shit ain't real. But that shit was real. And then like Swerve just doing it to himself and laughing in his face and
yep.
Oh my God! And
Swerve laughing, looking at the crowd, and stapling his chest was the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Just fucking straight up villain vibes, bro.
It was very villain vibes.
That's crazy. And then, of course, we all know the spot, the blood drinking spot. That is where I was like, all right,
bro. Okay. Hangman is a fucking savage.
He's the crazy.
I think we need to like fucking rethink about how we talk about Hangman Adam Page, bro.
You know what's crazy about that is we keep talking about Page, and he's always like, I don't know. I feel like he's always looked at like he's like, he has this whole anxious millennial cowboy thing going on, and talks about like depression and anxiety and things like that. And I feel like Hangman has this this image of like he's soft.
Yeah.
But how many Texas death matches has he had in AEW? Yeah, and he fucking goes in on him.
Right.
He fucking goes in on him.
Exactly. And on top of that,
I don't know. I feel like I want to see more of that Hangman. We don't see enough of that guy. And I don't mean a death match every single week or something. But I would like to see him just be more aggressive and angry like he was before AEW started. The New Japan, like Bullet Club Hangman was a lot more violent and stuff. And I would like to see more of that in AEW.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we have to talk about too is like we have to go back and look at everyone he beat during his title run.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a fucking crazy list of people that he beat. He beat like everyone that's top dog in this company right now. He beat every one of them. And even in this, like the fact that he lost twice, like that's not a knock on him for me. That's just a big up on Swerve. You know what I mean? Like that's just so like. We gotta rethink how we talk about Hangman, bro, because that motherfucker deserves some big flowers.
Let's talk about who he beat. Let's see.
I know he beat Mox, right? Who did he beat for the title?
He beat Kenny Omega
for the title.
Yep, he made his first defense against Bryan Danielson
in
a 60-minute time limit draw.
God damn.
Then he beat him again a couple weeks later.
Okay.
Then he beat Lance Archer in a Texas death match.
That's a fucking dog.
And then he beat Adam Cole at Revolution.
Dog.
And then he beat Adam Cole again in a Texas death match.
Dog.
And then he lost it to Punk.
Yeah.
So
that's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
But yeah, this match obviously was a standout match. I'm sure they both went to the back and said, fucking follow that. But yeah, and I am glad that Swerve won. Like, I know we're talking about Hangman a lot right now, but Swerve is hot right now. If next year ends and Swerve is not world champion, I will be very upset with this company.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think Swerve's the guy that beats MJF.
Yeah.
The only person, I mean, like, storyline right now, it doesn't really make much sense.
Sure.
But they'll make it make sense. And I think, like, what's probably All In Wembley, that's probably when it's going to happen. Because everyone's talking about Samoa Joe beating MJF. I don't think that's happening.
Absolutely not.
I don't think, I think your theory holds so much true that he's going to carry the rest of this year out to be world champion. And then next year they're going to put him up against somebody, and we're all going to be like, "This might be it."
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be Adam. I don't think No, yeah. I think Swerve's the next guy, man. I really do.
Yeah.
Like, because honestly, like, if Swerve comes out like next week or the week after that on Dynamite and like goes after Christian for some reason, I'm gonna be blown.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little blown.
Like, I think that's the thing that like we got to think about too, though, when it comes to it. Like, we really want Swerve to be world champion, but he's really hot right now. But right now isn't the time. So how long can you keep this going before you pull the trigger? I feel like All In September, that's a long time. And AEW is not known for, as much as I love AEW, they have a habit of not being able to either keep people hot or just letting go. So, after this, like, where does Swerve go? He's got to go up to keep the momentum.
I feel like, well, no, maybe not. I was
I'll
gonna
be
say
honest with you, Swerve winning the Continental Classic, that's not going up for me.
well, he becomes an instant Triple Crown, which I think is fire.
Yeah, I think that the whole idea of that is dumb anyway. But still, it's a brand new title. You're telling me you're going to put Swerve on Ring of Honor as the Ring of Honor? No, don't.
He can't do anything in Ring of Honor. I was gonna say that he could run this back one more time, but with Adam losing twice, I think that's kind of dead.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of dead.
Especially like if you do it a third time, if you have him beat Page 3 times straight, the hell do you do with Page?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't do that. So, Adam to me hasn't lost anything in my opinion for losing this twice.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, so right now is like a safe time for him to just pull him out of that and he'll be good. So I'm trying to think. I'm thinking either like they put him into like 2 kind of long feuds before like All In, or they put him in like one big other feud like this, like this, and then they go out. He starts going after Max. I'm just not sure who it's going to be.
You know what I'd like to see?
There you go.
Because you said if he comes out and he goes for the TNT championship, you're going to be blown. But what if Adam Copeland beats Christian and it's Swerve and Copeland?
Okay, I'll see that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about who you put him against, really.
Yeah, I don't want to see Swerve and Christian, to be honest.
As great of a match as that would be, we love Christian on this podcast.
No, I love Christian. But Christian versus Swerve is just not interesting right now. Not to me. Christian and Adam, this needs to go on for a little bit longer too.
Yeah.
So like, I bet you. So like, we could do something with Swerve for the next like until like February, and then have Edge beat Christian at Revolution or something, and then have Swerve go for Edge, and then have that go on. He may have to lose if he's gonna be that close to it. I don't know. The timing's weird. Because that, like you said, he's hot right now, so you can't do anything right now because the timing's not right. But you got to do something with him for like 6 months if you want this to be like an all-in. Because MJF has to lose at Wembley at this point. Like you can't lose at just another pay-per-view,
right? like
all the rest of the pay-per-views are just other pay-per-views now compared to Wembley. So it's
think they're even if you don't do like him and Edge, like. I mean, I think that'd be a great feud with or without the TNT title for.
That's true too.
But I think there are definitely people you could put him against to keep him hot. I mean, him and Danielson be great. Him and Mox, him and Omega, just kind of finding out like how do we get those feuds to come together.
Him and Will Ospreay.
Oh,
that's coming.
Okay.
When is that? When's Wrestle Kingdom?
January.
Okay, so he said he's coming after Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
That might be sick.
Is always in January, so
that might be sick. That might be it. Because I've seen like their old fight footage and stuff.
The only problem with that is like you got 2 guys who you probably don't want either of them to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want Ospreay losing, coming in right off the bat, and you don't really want Swerve losing right now when he's hot. So
especially when you don't want Swerve to lose if you think he's going to be the next guy.
Right, exactly.
And that's interesting too. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you could definitely put Swerve over Mox or Danielson or Omega, and that would be a big boost for him. So.
Mm-hmm. They got a lot of ways they can go with Swerve. We can skip this, to be honest.
Yeah, whatever.
Bro, again, I don't
love the Bucks, but I just did not care about this match. I don't care. The best thing about this match is that the Bucks left, and then the Bucks lost, and then afterwards they said they're taking time off, which from everything I'm reading is a storyline. They're going to come back in a while. They've trademarked a couple things, and I have read that there's supposed to be a drastic change in their character, and that is what they need. I've been saying that for a while. They need to change somehow. They need to evolve, and they could probably do well taking some time off away from AEW right now.
So I agree with both of those things. I just don't know what that change would be. Like, I agree that they take time off, and I agree that they need something different going on. That's for sure.
Right.
I just don't know what the fuck that's going to be, because the Bucks have just, in my opinion, have been the Bucks this entire time.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like forever. They've always been the Bucks. So it's like, what do you do? I mean, do you do you turn them like real face or what?
They've always since they blew up with Bullet Club and New Japan, they've always kind of just done a version of the same gimmick.
Right.
Full time, So I agree with you. They've just that's just them. So I do feel like they need to do something drastic. What that is, I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see what it is as a Bucks fan, and I hope that it is. I hope that it is a drastic change, because I feel like
Nick Jackson, do not cut your beard.
Cut your hair though, because you are going bald.
You can cut the hair. That's fine. Do not cut your beard.
Don't get rid of the beard. I agree.
Keep your beard. You look weird with no facial hair.
You're rich. You could probably do something about that. Just saying.
You can wear a hat.
Do something about it or get rid of it, because it's obvious.
You can wear a hat.
Wear a hat with a strap on it around your chin so that it doesn't fall off during the match.
There you go. Never. Definitely not what I thought was gonna go down.
Yep.
I can kind of understand Jay White's kind of frustration with that match.
Sure.
Because I heard he was frustrated. I don't know if that's real or not. But I can kind of get it. I also feel like he'll probably end up in the end of this Continental Classic Championship tournament thing they got going on. Yeah. I think he's going to be at the end of it, if not very close to the end of it.
Yeah. If they're not giving it to Eddie, and at this point, I feel like they're not going to. I think the next best person would be Jay.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to probably go to Eddie though. That's just my thing. I think Eddie's just got. I know Eddie's taken a loss already.
2 losses.
2 losses already?
He lost on Collision too.
That's not fucking good.
Yep. 1 more loss, he's out of the tournament period. So
yeah, so you got to win everything now. Who's he left to fucking fight?
Oh shit, I don't even remember who his next one is. They did announce it, but I can't remember who it is.
Because whoever the rest of the people are, that's bad news for Eddie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not too crazy shocked at this match. Just because, like, I don't know. We see MJF carrying this thing out to the end of the year. I don't feel like I don't feel like Jay White is the same Jay White that everyone thought we were getting. That's just my opinion. I don't really know. I don't know a whole lot about Jay White before he came to this company. Or before he showed up in AEW. I just don't think the hype that was initiated for is he going to go to WWE, is he going to go to AEW, that when he came here, it kind of just was whatever this is. I just don't think it lived up to that, I'll say.
I think the problem is, for many, many years, we have seen Jay White be at the very top of New Japan, be one of the best wrestlers there, be one of the most entertaining people there. And then he came to AEW, where he's surrounded by people who are very talented. And I don't think that he was. I feel like we as fans expected him to immediately be put in a position where he would kind of be the Jay White of New Japan. And AEW did not do that. They immediately fell back to the Bullet Club thing. They immediately put him in a tag team with Juice first off, and then went to the Bullet Club thing. And we were all just kind of like, that's what you're doing with this guy? Yeah. Like, you're putting him in a tag team, and then you're just bringing Bullet Club back after all the stuff between him and Bullet Club and New Japan, which made it make even less sense.
Right.
So
yeah,
I think that's part of it. I don't really think it's Jay White necessarily as much.
I don't think it has anything to do with Jay White. I really don't. I think it has anything to do with the way he's booked.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, like most time I say stuff like that, and I know it's like a booking issue. It has nothing to do with the person. Like if he was cutting bad promos or something like that, that's different. But like he's just being booked this way. I mean, he just got booked a title shot at Full Gear, so it's not crazy bad, but it's not great as a whole package. I would not have suggested what we're doing here. I definitely don't agree with the Bullet Club thing at all. I think
as much as I love Bang Bang Gang,
Bang Bang Gang has grown into its own thing, in my opinion. I really wish they could kind of just go to that name instead of the Bullet. But I think if they just did that anyway and not done the Bullet Club thing, I think it'd be way cooler.
Right.
I don't understand why we kind of just played off nostalgia and you know, things that are hype, and it was just I don't think it worked as well as they wanted it to.
No, it was a step back for them, whereas AEW thought that it was going to, using Bullet Club was going to give them like credentials, and all it really did was make Jay White take a step back.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know, but
I think also it didn't look good for Jay that he got beaten by an injured MJF.
That's where I think my frustrations are. You know, it's like he kind of got jumped by two injured guys and lost. It's it's not great, you know. So
I mean, let's be honest, both of these guys, you know, as much work as they put in, this match was just overshadowed by the Texas Death Match. There was nothing they could have done. There was literally nothing they could have done to have outshined that. They just couldn't. That wasn't their fault. But
no. I mean, the only thing that really kept the hype going into this match was the fact that we thought Adam Cole was going to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? As soon as we realized there was MJF going to be there, it's like, okay, well, then now we're just back to what we were doing.
Yeah.
And
which again, that was also fucking stupid. Because we were all like, why is one injured guy being allowed to wrestle the match, but not the other injured guy?
Oh, yeah.
The actual champion. What? Okay, whatever.
Yeah. I know. And also just every time they were when they first announced it too, I was to Khan, I was like, they're not gonna really do this. There's no way. And Khan was like, no, MJF's gonna come back or something. And I was like, okay. But I was just like, I don't see, you know, it's just you might as well have MJF go back out there, you know, or Adam's faking the injury, which I don't think he is. I know a lot of people think he is, but I don't. You know, so it's a lot of that. It was just it's an up in the air thing. Well, if MJF's not here and Adam Cole says he's going to do it, who's actually going to do it? You know, that's kind of where that's the only kind of mystery that was kind of there. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about this match. Great pay-per-view as always. AEW on bangers. So before we get into Survivor Series, before we got on here, you and I were just talking a little bit, and I mentioned that I thought I knew who the henchmen are for the Devil now.
Yes. Who do you think they are?
You said to save it for the pod. So I still do believe that Adam Cole is injured, but I do believe that he is the Devil.
Okay.
But I think the henchmen are after we actually saw them, we saw their body shapes,
body types,
I think that the henchmen are Shawn Spears, Wardlow, and FTR, the Pinnacle.
Oh, wow.
They're all coming to get their revenge after everything that happened with the Pinnacle.
Okay.
That's who I think it is now.
Okay. I'm with that. I think that's cool. I still have no fucking idea who the Devil is. I have a pie chart in my head, and 40% is Max, and then there's a 20% that's Adam, and then you got a 5% chance that it's Wardlow, or a 10% chance that it's Britt, and then another 15% to I have no fucking idea. Sure. And that 50% is a strong thing for me, because it's just they're picking on Max, and then they're picking on his opponents, and then they're going back to Max. And it's I have no it could be Max just fucking playing, or it could be you know, I don't know, but yeah, I like that theory a lot, especially I feel like one of the guys was like really big, like Wardlow too. So that makes a lot of sense.
I think that's what made me think is the main guy who was like doing the punching and stuff while MJF was being held on Dynamite. That dude was fucking big.
Yeah,
he was real big, and I was like, that's fucking Wardlow.
So I bet you the two that him and Samoa Joe are going to face are going to be FTR.
Yeah, because that's also, like, you think about it. Wardlow is how long's Wardlow been back now? Like 2 months at least. And he's every single week he's like, I just came back for MJF. And yet not once. He's only been shown with MJF once. Pushed him up against the wall and said, I'm coming for you, and that's it. Other than that, he's just going out and destroying jobbers. Well, why? There's got to be a reason he's not just immediately like going after MJF every single week, especially after everything that MJF did to him.
Right.
And that's why I think that it's going to be him under one of those masks. And that's why he hasn't just full-blown gone after him yet, because he's involved in this, and they're going to reveal themselves eventually.
I also think your theory works if MJF is the devil.
Yeah, sure.
I think
that it was all just planned. Him
that
just
could
planning
be a plan, right? Sure. That could be a plan. FTR team with them recently, so they could have did that. Mended fences over that, and then Sean Spears has just been gone, so there's probably no love lost there. Could have mended that friendship, or at least paid him off. Bring back the Pinnacle with the devil at the helm.
And if you do that, then you can have Cole team up with the Kingdom and Roddy, and there's your group versus group.
Yep. That's true. That's very true.
All right, well, let's get into
War Games. Match of the night.
Yeah?
Dude, Io Sky is a baller.
Yo, Io shines in these fucking War Games matches. I really feel like she's just like, put me in every one because I need to jump off something.
Io Sky needs to be and should be in every War Games. If she's not allowed to be in if she's physically not able to perform in a War Games, they are not allowed to hold it.
There is no women's War Games match that year.
Yeah.
She is not physically able to be in one.
like what? How could they follow the last fucking 4 that she's done? How many has it been? It's been 4? She's done 4 at least. It's 4 or 5.
Three or so at least.
It's 4 or 5. I feel like
but every time she's jumping off that shit.
If she can't do it, they can't do it. That's simple as that.
She is the MVP of the women's War Game matches every year. For
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. That's her fucking match.
I did enjoy this match, other than, I thought it had a little bit of a rocky start, because Charlotte is just not as good as everybody says she is.
Yeah.
And she blew a bunch of spots, looked really awkward in the beginning, as she always does, because she's not as good as everybody says.
It's really good that she has that good last name, because otherwise.
Yeah.
Like. Imagine if her name was like Richardson or something. Imagine if her name was like Richardson or something.
Charlotte Richardson.
Charlotte Richardson. Like, nope, you're terrible. Bye.
That doesn't sound like a superstar's name.
Charlotte Flair. That works. We know a guy named Rick. Yeah.
I'm not a huge Charlotte fan. I think she has, worth to the company. I just don't believe that she is as good as everybody talks about her. She is not the best women's wrestler in the world. As much as WWE may try to gaslight you into believing that, it is not the truth. She is very athletic. Yes. Is she the best wrestler? No.
For me, it's the miss spot thing that you were talking about. It's that stuff where it's just like it's so obvious, it's so glaringly bad. It's like, dude, like
she moves because she's just so big that like every time she blows a spot, which is at least once a match, it's so much more obvious because she's so big. She moves a lot slower as it is, just setting up moves, so it's even more obvious.
Right.
And she just can't move as quickly to like make up for it or try to cover her mistakes as the other women can.
Right.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't hate Charlotte or anything, but those glaring missed spots and everything like that. It's just so obvious. It's like, eh.
And again, probably wouldn't have such a problem with it if it just wasn't constantly force fed to us that she's the best, and if there just weren't so many people who actually like believed it.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people that believe it. And it ain't true.
Oh yeah,
it ain't true. She's the Hikaru Shida of WWE. She's all right.
That part.
She's
that
the
fucking
best.
part. I do have a thing about this match. I do not like the branded matches.
What do you mean?
I don't like this presented by Ruffles thing where the Ruffles brands all over the place. Now, I did like the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match because that had a stipulation that made it make sense with Mountain Dew, right? There you go. See, that stuff makes sense. Like that, like having a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match where it's Bray Wyatt and LA Knight going crazy in pitch black, that's fire. But when you just have the War Games match sponsored by Ruffles where the Ruffles logo is just everywhere, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, sure. I get that. I wish they would handle the sponsorships more like they did in the 90s, like during the Attitude Era, because they did it. They always did cool shit then. Like I can still hear like presented by Super Soaker, but it was always like a recap of something presented by Super Soaker, or here's this moment of the week presented by whatever, and I think that's a good way to work in the sponsorships without having to attach them to an actual match,
Yeah. But I'm all for it. Like if you make it like if you have a Ruffles match, God knows what the fuck that is. But like I even said as an example, because I told this to Khan too when we were talking about it. I said if they did like a Slim Jim match where like the kendo sticks looked like Slim Jims and that's like all you could use in it, like that would be fire. Like, okay, it's big ass fucking kendo sticks that look like Slim Jims and these motherfuckers are going at it. That's cool. Like, do something like that, but don't just like, oh, it's War Games sponsored by Ruffles. Cool.
Right.
Like, no, like do something with it. If you're gonna like really do it, if you're gonna do it. Like
yeah, what would a Ruffles match be?
Which is just like instead of thumbtacks in the bag, it would just be chips. You just like suplex someone on some chips or on the RKO. That probably would hurt too. That probably wouldn't feel good.
I hope nobody's got a cut on their back. Those are salt and vinegar.
He's got the sour cream and onion. Yeah, no. See, I would just like for them to come up with something, even if it was just something stupid. Like I would like, okay, well, there's something different with this match because it's a brand and they're doing something with it. Cool,
right?
But
this match did end the way that pretty much exactly how I said, which was Bayley's going to eat the pin here.
Yeah,
which is what happened. But yeah, it's a good match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I'm still not sold on Kyrie Sane, but that's fine. I don't need to be sold on her right now. She just got back, so I'm gonna give her some slack. She has not been here, so we will give her a little bit of time. I'm definitely waiting for the day where Bayley gets kicked out of Damage Control, or they just leave Damage Control. I don't know which one that's gonna be. Whether they're gonna kick her out of it or they're just gonna leave and start their own thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, how do you think this ends? Because
the smartest decision for me is that I think they kick Bayley out and they keep the Damage Control name for themselves. Because the Damage Control name and the Damage Control thing is over. Like that's a big thing right now. So if you kick Bayley out of it and it's just these three and Dakota, then that's fire. Yeah.
See, I disagree there. I do think that the Damage Control name needs to stay with Bayley because I don't think that it fits them three together.
Okay.
Io, Asuka, and Kyrie. I don't think that fits their whole aesthetic. I don't think it fits their character together. I don't think that works. But my thing is, when it eventually happens, you're saying that you think that Dakota stays with them? Because I don't. I think Dakota either chooses to go with Bayley because Bayley brought her back. You can say Bayley brought me back, like I was fired and she brought me back. Or you can do that they also kick Dakota out because she's the only one who continuously stands up for Bailey, where everybody else is just sick of her in the group. And then Bailey and Dakota can bring in a third to fight them.
So to me, I feel like body language is a big thing here.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like Dakota's body language towards Bailey and like with the rest of Damage Control right now is very on the side of EO and them. It's just like the way they walk out together, the way they do things together. I really feel like her and Dakota and EO are more connected than either of them are to Bailey.
Okay.
Because they both have a very similar experience of coming back to WWE. Sure. Yes, it was through Bailey, and yes, Bailey made the phone calls and blah, blah, blah. But I think they have a very similar experience, and I feel like Dakota would have a better experience if she had not been injured. I feel like they both were tag team champions together. Yeah. I think Dakota would have some type of fucking gold around her waist at some point, like just like on her own. And I just feel like they have a better connection than her and Bailey do. So I do think Bailey's the odd man out in this group.
Okay, now, but again, you take Bailey out of this, and this is probably going to be taken wrong when I say this, but you take Bailey out, and you feel that Dakota fits in with the rest of this group?
I know what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say.
Yes.
And I still do, yes.
Okay. Because I think with Bailey it works. But once you take her out, now I think
with Bailey it works less.
Really? See, I feel like it makes Dakota stick out even more once you take Bailey out.
No, I think Dakota's vibe fits them more.
Okay.
Like, to be honest,
so do you think in yours? Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it. They're all Asian, right? They're all Japanese. Are they all Japanese?
True. Yeah.
Is that okay? Cool. I feel like Dakota's vibe is more Japanese anime, than Bailey for sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
For sure, like 1,000%. Like when I think of people who are like anime fans and stuff like that, they dress like Dakota Kai.
Sure.
So
I see where you're going there. I see.
That's where we're at. I mean, but I can see what you're saying. Like, no, she doesn't fit. But if we're gonna pick between the two, absolutely Dakota Kai fits better. Even her name, Dakota Kai. That sounds like, that.
Sure.
It's really hard for two white guys to talk about this.
We're sorry. Okay, let's just apologize right now.
White guilt is there. White guilt is there. It's present. I want you to know that right off the bat that it's there, and I don't know how to speak about it.
We're already sorry. We know we did something wrong.
Usually Khan's here to help us walk through this, and he's not. Right. So we are left alone to deal with our privilege on our own. Okay? So forgive us.
Oh shit. All right, so follow-up question to that then.
Okay.
If it goes the way that you're saying it goes, do you think that Bailey forms another group? And if she does, who?
Well, they have been talking about Sasha coming back. I don't think that's happening.
I don't either.
If that is happening, though, if we're talking about it is happening, then her and Sasha will team back up. Because I like them as a tag team. That's when I first was becoming a fan. Was when her and Sasha were a tag team. So that'd be cool. I firmly don't believe that Sasha's coming back. I think Mercedes Moné is most likely either gonna just stay in New Japan or she's gonna come to AEW. I truly believe those are the two options. I really don't think she wants to come back to WWE. I don't think it's bad blood anymore.
Yeah.
Like I think she's fine. Like but like
she's just happy doing what she's doing. And more so, like I would I just read that she was just granted citizenship in Japan too. So if you're coming back to WWE, then what are you
don't know.
What are you doing all that for?
And to me, I feel like I feel like there's been like there's a new thing that like for me I label wrestlers as where like a lot of wrestlers need freedom to just kind of do what they want, right? I feel like Lance Archer is a really good example. I feel like Will Ospreay is a good example. I feel like Mercedes is probably a good example, even though we haven't seen her do a whole lot. There's a couple others, but you can't have freedom in WWE. Yeah. When you're WWE, you are WWE. That's it. Sure. But when you're anything else, you can be anything else. Like Will Ospreay has been here in New Japan and anywhere else, and that's when they were talking about him going to WWE, I was like, "There's no way," because I was just like, he wants freedom. He would, because I know part of his AEW deal is him being able to go back to New Japan whenever he wants. Yeah, and be able to do like TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go in the UK and do anything.
Speaking of that, how is that going to fucking work? You going to fly that guy in from the UK every week? Because that is wild.
Well, I guess you'd have to go on the road with them, right? Or what? I don't know how it works. I don't know.
Man, I don't know how it's going to work either. How do you make that happen?
Yeah, do you just? I mean, what's the difference between him going from, like, let's say they're doing a show in DC? What's the difference between him going from the UK to DC from him going to LA to DC? I mean, what's the difference?
Nothing, but you're also speaking in short-term deals. We're talking this guy's a part of the roster. Like every week he's going to be there now because he's in the roster. He's going to be in storylines. That's different.
No, I'm saying like match. when you're like, because like I'm trying to think. Like all these guys live somewhere else. They don't all live in like Florida. So it's like they all live somewhere else. So they're all getting flown out back and forth all the time. It's not much of a difference for him to go back and forth. And honestly, he's okay with it because he signed a contract.
Obviously, yeah.
You know, so it's like, does he just stay on the road for a little bit and then go back home for like a second and then come back? Or was he? And also, I feel like, again, the freedom. I feel like Will Ospreay has earned a lot of freedom. So he can kind of be a part-timer and be okay.
Sure. Like, wow. I agree with that. Like, I think it's kind of nuts to pay a part-timer 7 figures.
That part-timer, though? That one?
Any part-timer.
Nah, way.
Any part-timer. 7 figures to be part-time.
What do you think Cena's getting paid, though?
Cena is a very different example.
I understand, but that's a part-timer.
I agree. He probably shouldn't be getting paid that either. If you're just looking at the business side, I'd say no.
Oh, no, business side, probably not. But
yeah,
how many eyes do you think AEW is going to get when Will Ospreay shows up? And I feel like there's what's the word for it? It's like when you don't see someone a whole lot, you miss them thing.
Sure. Yeah.
If we don't see Will Ospreay every week, we're going to fucking miss him. So when he does show up on a Dynamite or does show up on a Collision after like 3 weeks of missing it, holy shit, here we go. You know?
But if that's the case, why even sign a contract then? Just come in whenever you feel like coming. You know what I mean? Like if you're signing a contract, a full-time contract, I expect you to be there pretty regularly. You know, I don't expect you to just come in for a match or two and then leave. Like I'm expecting you to be involved in like storylines and be there pretty fucking regularly.
I don't think it'll be like a match or two thing. I think it'll be like you'll have like maybe like 2 feuds a year. You know what I mean? Like he like has like a big one, right? Mm-hmm. It lasts for like 2 months and then he goes away for like a month or 2 months and then comes and does another big one, does a big pay-per-view, like does Wembley, does all that shit, and then after Wembley, he stays home, you know? Okay. And then he does some New Japan stuff, so he's still active, and then maybe even brings some New Japan stuff back to AEW, blah, blah, blah. I think there's something there for it. But again, that's where the freedom of it comes for me, is that even if he's not on AEW all the time, because Lance Archer is not on AEW at all, ever. Right. He's part of the company, I'm assuming, still. Yep. So, like, it's stuff like that where, like, Lance Archer goes to New Japan, goes to fucking wherever. You know?
I'm be honest though, Lance Archer, I feel like he's one of those people because Tony has said it many times. Unless it's a CM Punk situation, he's never going to fire anybody. He's just going to let their contracts run out, and then he's not going to renew. And I feel like Lance Archer is one of those people. He's
Probably.
probably bringing him in every now and then, doing something with him. But once his contract is up, he's probably not going to be back.
That's
Which sucks because I like Lance Archer, and I don't feel like he was used very well again. But
I mean, if the money that TK is paying him is right enough for him to just kind of come in and out whenever he pleases,
sure, oh yeah,
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, no, I
definitely
agree with that. I'm just saying I don't think that is TK's plan. TK's probably like, yeah, we've got bigger people coming in. We haven't really used you. Once your contract's up, we're not going to bring it back.
That could happen. Yeah, I just think I like the way Tony Khan is doing it. I think having these guys be everywhere and being an AEW guy does wonders for his company. I really do. I really think, especially like in Japan, especially overseas, especially anywhere. Because if you have this guy who signed AEW, like a Will Ospreay, a Lance Archer, anything like that, you have these guys who are signed to AEW and they go somewhere else and they go do something. Like I said, Wheeler Yuta and Nyla Rose were in Virginia. How big is that they can do that? Because that puts a whole big light on that indie company that just opened, by the way. They didn't exist before a month ago.
Right.
So they had Wheeler Yuta and Nyla Rose show up. That does wonders for that company, puts a bunch of eyes on that company, and it puts a bunch of eyes on his company because look how cool Tony Khan is letting his two wrestlers come to our little tiny show.
Right.
In the middle of an auditorium. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so that's, I think,
honestly,
the way he's doing it just does wonders.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that at all. I love that about AEW because I think that is one thing about AEW that I enjoy more than WWE is because AEW does that. The company itself and the wrestlers themselves feel so much more accessible and fan friendly. Whereas WWE, it's almost like, yeah, these guys are celebrities and you never get to meet them or almost never get to see them in person or anything like that. Again, it kind of takes you out of it as a fan at times. But AEW, it just feels like more fan friendly.
Yeah, it's more relatable. Like Will Ospreay is a person. Like, Mercedes Moné is a person. Like all these people are people. Whereas like Roman Reigns is a god that can never be touched and never be seen on TV for the rest of 2023.
Right.
I don't.
No, he's going to be on.
That's a bad thing. I just don't agree with it all the way.
No, he's going to be on before the end of the year. They already announced it.
They said he was going to be off for the rest of the year.
No, he's going to be on SmackDown December 15th.
Oh wow. Okay, that's new because that.
Yeah,
they definitely.
That was within last week.
Oh, okay. So they changed that a little bit. They probably heard us yelling about it.
This happened.
I mean, this is a good match. I'm not gonna lie. MJF. I thought he was gonna win at one point.
Who?
Oh wow, The Miz.
Who?
Huh?
I get it. They both start with M. They both have 3 letters. It's confusing.
Well, Punk called him Miz. So that's what screwed me up. I want Miz and Punk to have a back and forth about that. Just about that. Like I heard you use my name a couple years ago. What was that? No. I really thought the Miz was gonna win at one point, like a couple times actually, because Miz was kicking his fucking ass. Yeah, like it was nuts.
I'm just very surprised at how over Miz has gotten with this. Because, they tried probably about 10 years ago to turn him face, and it just did not work. And he's been a heel the entire rest of his career, fucking almost 20 years now. So it's just crazy that the fans they're really getting behind him in this feud.
It's crazy how over he still is while losing all the time. Like, he never wins.
Right.
I don't remember the last time I've ever seen him win, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like that was like something meaningful. Like
if you asked me what the last match Miz had before this, I couldn't tell you. No fucking clue. Feels like it's been months.
Yeah.
So it could have been weeks ago and I just don't remember, but
I would love to see
feud he was in.
I would love to see his last victory. Like I would like to see like his match to match stats and to see like who he's all faced and see like when the last time he had like a meaningful victory.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long time.
It has been a while.
which is great for like it's great in the sense of like he's still like one of the biggest people there.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible. Like that like you have to fucking respect that shit.
Oh yeah,
because like most people like they take one loss. Like we were talking about, hey man, if he takes one more loss from Swerve, he's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Miz could lose 1,000 times to Swerve, he'd still fucking be good.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the shit. Like,
people who shit on the Miz, like, I don't feel like really understand wrestling at all, which I hate to be that.
Yeah.
I hate to say that. Like, oh, you don't understand.
You're not a real fan.
I don't want to be that guy, but I mean, this guy he's put his time in. Yeah, he may not be the most exciting wrestler in ring in the world. I'm not gonna deny that, but the guy puts on decent matches. I don't think he's ever been injured. I can't remember a time that he's been injured. He does literally anything the company asks him. He loses a lot.
Yep.
And he keeps his heel heat somehow. Until now. Now he's a face, which is, I don't know. But still.
It is what it is. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely thought at one point that like I think I looked at Khan, I was like, Miz might win this thing.
I think I agree. I think you were the one who said Jay, right?
Jay for
beats Gunter.
Jey Uso?
Yeah.
Did I say that?
I thought it was you. Maybe it was somebody else.
I think LA Knight might be Gunther, but
Jay in a interview said that he wanted to become Intercontinental Champion because his father and his uncle held that title. And then I went, oh shit, that makes sense because I don't really see Jay as the world champion, but I could see him as the Intercontinental Champion. And I think that he is big enough and over enough to be believable to beat Gunter right now, which I don't think that a lot of people are. I still say LA Knight beats Logan Paul at WrestleMania. That's my prediction. But
okay. You think he's going to hold that shit to WrestleMania?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, really, think about it, Nick. It's only 4 months away.
Yeah, but you saw Randy was on his podcast, right?
Yeah. I didn't watch the podcast, but I didn't know he was on it.
But, you know, every time someone's on Impulsive that he banned the feuding, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think I think they're going with Roman and the Bloodline and Randy right now.
I don't know yet. It's only been a week. I don't know.
I think that's the plan. I feel like that's the plan for now. I think we get Roman and Randy at Rumble.
I think if they did Jay as Intercontinental Champion, if that was where they were going with it, I would definitely need to see like a kind of long feud, like maybe a month or two.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be the same thing. I think it'll be WrestleMania. I could see between now and like the Rumble, say Jay knocks Gunter out of the Rumble after all the big Rumble performances that Gunter has put on, and he said, "Hey, I'm just going to do it again this year." Say Jay is the one that knocks him out of the Rumble. There you go, natural way to start it, and that just goes to Mania.
Okay, I'm with that.
Jay, big win there.
I would definitely need Jay to like be a little more established towards Gunther before I say I don't know if I definitely wasn't one that said that. I don't remember saying anything like that because I'm always LA Knight is like could be either of those guys for me.
Sure.
I think LA Knight could do the Gunther thing. I think LA Knight could easily beat Logan Paul. But I think LA Knight's next for a title. That's for damn sure. I'm not sure about Jay. I'm not sure how I feel about Jay because I would like Cody to be a part of that feud as well in some capacity. Like almost like a manager consultant type for Jay. I don't know if that makes sense.
Sure.
But I don't know what he would do, but he's kind of always stood behind Jay this whole time. So it's like maybe he does that for him now. I don't know.
Well,
I would like to see that.
We will see.
Yeah.
But that's what I think we're going to get. I think we're going to get Seth Punk, main event of Mania Night 1. We're going to get Roman and Cody, Night 2. We're going to get Jay and Gunter. We're going to get LA Knight and Logan Paul. And that's everything that I think is happening right now.
So that's 4 title changes you think is happening at Mania.
I mean, I never said Punk was beating Seth. I just said I think we're getting it.
I don't know if Seth holds it that long.
Also, that I never said it was for a title. I just said I think that's the main event.
Could just be it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's still like 3 title changes though. That's a lot.
Yeah, I would say 3. Yeah. But
I
think
Gunther at this point has to lose it in Mania, right?
I feel like where else? Like it's got to be that. I think what's when is that Berlin show? Like they're not gonna make him lose it over there. When is that? Bash in Berlin.
Don't we have like a photo of that? We used to.
Oh, fuck that. That's not until August.
Yeah, fuck no. That's not happening.
Yeah,
There's no way he holds it for another fucking year, bro.
If anything, I would say if that ends up being a televised event, Gunther wins the world title there.
Is that not supposed to be televised?
I don't know. I'm saying if it ends up being.
Well, if he loses his thing by Mania, then he could win the world title by then.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Okay.
All right. We got to see if that actually happens. Because wait.
I thought it was supposed to be televised. I thought it was a PLE.
Hold on.
Let me check Berlin. I swear it was a PLE.
I love
that all their PLEs are overseas too, by the way.
Yeah, I like that they're doing a lot of those.
Love that.
I was trying to see when SummerSlam 2024 is planned for, but I don't see. Yeah, look. Usually it's August too, so I feel like they're probably not going to have 2 PLEs in the same month, but could be wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Well, didn't they do like Crown Jewel and shit like back to back?
Yeah, you usually get Crown Jewel like beginning of November, and then we get Survivor Series. But I mean, you said it yourself. Crown Jewel's not canon. No,
yeah, I don't consider it that like a big one. No, yeah. Oh boy, what could have been?
We didn't update this either.
We have not. Listen, the podcast has been slacking. We're going through a little bit of an overhaul. Okay,
yeah,
we're going through a little bit of a. We're going to get into that in construction right now.
But that's a little tease. Tease.
But
I was upset about this because I really wanted to see this match.
Me too.
So I wasn't happy that Carlito got replaced with Dragon Lee. But
so
it is what it is.
That Friday, I had seen a leak about what was going to happen, and I talked to Khan. I said, if what I read about what's tonight's about to happen with Santos Escobar, I'm going to be mad. And he was like, okay. He didn't want to hear about it really. And I was like, okay. And then it happened. I'm like, that's what I was talking about. Like right there. Like now we got robbed of a Carlito. Like that's bullshit. Like
right.
Makes no sense to me. Like and like, okay, Dragon Lee gets a Survivor Games or Survivor Series match, cool. But like I'm not completely sold on Dragon Lee quite yet. I missed him in NXT, so I don't know a lot about him.
I mean, honestly, he was only in NXT for a couple months. I don't even think he was there for 6 months.
So why is he such a big deal?
I don't know.
Is he just good?
I mean,
Is he really good? Is he really good?
I mean, he's a good luchador, sure. I mean, I think he's good. I've never.
Is he related to somebody?
Anything? Huh?
Is he related to somebody?
Yes.
See,
but I don't think anybody. I think he's related.
Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's related to Roosh.
No, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm looking it up. Looking it up right now.
Dragon Lee.
Yeah, he's Dralistico is his older brother.
Aha. Okay.
Yeah, and Roosh is his brother as well. Yes.
But his dad's not somebody or whatever.
His dad is a wrestler. I don't think that you would know him, La Bestia. He was like a Mexican legend more than anything in WWE or in American wrestling.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, he's done. He did a lot of Ring of Honor stuff, and he was in AEW for a minute. They just never signed him. I think he's fine. I don't know why they're so into him. I mean, I haven't.
Roosh. Okay, Roosh, Dralistico, and Dragon Lee are all brothers.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think he's good. I haven't seen anything from him yet that makes me go, "Holy shit, this guy's gonna be a huge star" or anything. He's fine, but yeah. I mean, they're really into him for whatever reason. But But I mean, at least Santos got the win because I do think it's time to push this guy.
Yeah, he's a good heel.
Yeah, he's
I like him a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, he the shit he said about Dom towards Ray was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn. All right. Like, it's very the right now it's getting very like, you were my hero, like shit, but like I can feel that it's not that all the way. Like he's right. That's the out of the story right now. It's like, you're my hero and you let me down, like fucking the bad guy from Incredibles. Like that. That's what it's giving right now. But like, I think it's a little more than that, and I think it's gonna be better than that. But,
yeah. I mean, I think there's still a lot that you can do with that. I mean, you can definitely, obviously, him being jealous of Ray, him being upset that he got the United States Championship when he got injured. You could even say, hey, I came up here with this group and you took my group over, and just renamed it your group, and like, so I think there's a lot you can do there. So, but I just want Santos to come out on top because I think it's time for him to get pushed and be used more because I think he's very, very good.
Yeah. I also want to see Carlito wrestle WWE.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. I mean, he's 45. We only got, probably a certain amount of years with him. So, let's get on that.
Probably only a year. I don't know why we did this.
I mean, because Rhea's got to beat some people. Rhea's barely wrestled this year, bro.
Is this people?
Think about it.
Is this people? Is this people?
This is people.
No,
I mean, let's be. Hey, wait, hold on. Before you say that,
okay,
we've said this before. Outside of like 4 or 5 women right now, WWE has not established a lot of other women.
That's true.
You could say that about Zoe, but you could say that about almost anybody that Rhea would face right now. WWE, they're clearly trying. They're using Zoe a lot. They're putting Shayna on a lot. Tegan's on TV. Shotzi's getting used. They're beginning that process. But right now, almost anybody you would put in there against Rhea, you'd go, whatever, because they haven't done anything with anybody. So,
well, I think they got all the women doing something else too.
She's got to beat people.
They got all the other women doing something else too, which is really annoying.
Right.
Like none of these other, like all the women, we know what we're talking about. All the women that they push, right? Mm-hmm. Charlotte, Asuka, Bianca, Becky, all these girls are seeing Rhea over there and just being like, nah.
Right.
Like,
right.
What is
they're
that?
They're all being grouped together instead of being spread out with other people and getting them over.
Like, bro, there is a woman walking around here beating up on these fucking girls that have like no like 2 legs to stand on when it comes to booking and fucking writing, and and you guys are just letting her walk around when you're dealing with damage control of all fucking things. Like, it doesn't, like, they gotta spread that shit out. Like, it's like, I don't need to see a Becky and Charlotte reunion when one of them could be taking over and going against Rhea.
I think you're going to, if what I think happens with that, you're going to be very upset because I think Bayley gets kicked out and Becky and Charlotte join her, and we get 3 of the 4 horsewomen together. After all these years of never getting it on actual WWE TV, we're going to get it.
And Sasha's the 4th one, right?
Yeah. Yep. I still don't think she's coming back. I still think we're only getting 3 of the 4, but I think that's probably the plan.
I mean, okay, let's set up a scenario where Triple H goes to Sasha and goes, hey, we just want you for a year so we can do this. What do you think?
Sure.
And here's a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something.
Sure.
I don't know if that's what she wants to do. But because I also really feel like she barely got the Mercedes Moné shit off the ground.
Yeah.
Like she did it for a little bit. She like showed up, did a little bit, and then lost to Willow and got injured. And that's it. Like that's like that is it. Like so like I just feel like she wants to do more with everything she put I'm sure she put a lot of money into getting the trademarks and getting the copyrights and all this other stuff. I'm sure she wants to stand on her own 2 feet before she goes back to WWE for some sort of legacy run.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like that would be cool in 5 years.
Right.
Like really cool in 5 years. Imagine that shit goes down. Especially with Sasha.
I definitely think that there's more of a chance of her coming back now that Vince is gone and it's Triple H in charge.
Yes,
because
for sure.
They've all always had a good relationship. And I think it's pretty clear that Hunter believes in women's wrestling a lot more than Vince ever did. So
yeah.
If it were up to Vince, we'd still be seeing fucking bra and panties matches. But he goes, somebody was like, Vince, we can't do this anymore. He's like, oh, fucking woke culture, goddamn libs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think
it went something like that. That's the conversation.
Well, I was gonna say, I think Vince believes in women's wrestling, just not the women's wrestling that has any sort of respect for the women.
Right.
Yeah. So I think he's a full believer into women's wrestling, just not what they want to do and not what they should be doing.
He is a believer in women wrestling each other
in mud,
not in this way.
In Jello,
actually.
In Jello,
yes,
with a white T-shirt on.
Yes,
on the Howard Stern show. Oh, goddamn!
Yep,
bro. Randy Orton has 8 abs. I want you to know that
he has so many muscles. He's got muscles in places that I don't believe I have places.
No, those places don't exist on my body.
No.
They went away about 15 years ago when I didn't work. When I stopped working out. And by the way, me and you could start working out hardcore right now, and by 95 years old, we won't even look half as good.
Nope. Not a fucking chance.
Hell no.
I could get paid for my job to be for me to just work out in a gym all day.
Yep.
And I would not look like Randy Orton at any point in my life.
No. Once I realized that about like working out and stuff like that, that's when I pretty much get
what's the point, right?
Like, I'm never gonna look like Randy Orton. So what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look like Dwayne Johnson. I'm not gonna look like John Cena. I'm not gonna look like any of these guys. What's the point?
You're an MMA fan, right?
A little bit, yeah.
My wife shared with me over the weekend, side quest here. She shared with me a TikTok of that Patty, whatever his name is.
Patty the Batty. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Where he was at a press conference after a fight, and he was eating a slice of pizza, and a interviewer was like, "You ever miss the abs when you do this?" And he was like, "No, I'd much rather be fat and happy. People that look like me are fucking miserable."
Fuck,
I'm like, you know what? He's right.
Fuck, yeah, he is. Yeah, that guy's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy's really funny too. There was a thing where he knocked on like someone's door, like in the Ring camera, caught it all. And it was just like, I don't know if they let the dog outside or something like that, but he's just like such like a personable person. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But that guy's really funny.
Yeah, I've only seen like clips of him talking about stuff. Because I don't really follow MMA. I don't dislike it, but I don't follow it.
Yeah.
But everything that I've seen of him makes me like him.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, he's dope.
Yeah.
I gotta find that video for you. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
This dude, I kind of wished the fucking cash-in happened.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Because as soon as it happened, me and Con were like, "Whoa, shit!"
You know what's funny? Almost every month, Seth goes in there as world champion into whatever pay-per-view it is, and almost every month we go, "This would be the perfect time for him to lose it." Every month we do this, and this again, perfect time. Would have made sense. Nobody would have been angry because he got screwed out of it. Oh, everything would make sense, and they still went, "No, not yet." Not yet.
I don't know.
I am also convinced that JD McDonough is trying to die in the ring. At this point, with the shit that he's doing,
he's really trying to earn his spot in Judgment
Day. He really is. He's like, I need this. I know that I'm small and weird looking, and I need to find a way to stay on this roster.
There was an episode of wrestling on WWE TV where he was made into the group, and I don't think he remembers that. So he's still trying to get into the group.
He's still
like,
trying.
I'm going to put myself into a trash can and get RKO'd by Randy Orton for the group so I can join. And then they're like, "You're already in, dude. Like, you're good." Like, no, I have to do this.
He's like, yeah, I still don't think Damien likes me though. I gotta do something here.
I promise you, he's not gonna like you anymore if you
Yeah,
get RKO'd off the top of the cage. I don't think so.
Randy was a little off with his timing on that too. A little
It was
bit.
a little late.
Usually he's perfect, but he was a little late.
It was a little late.
But
it's fine.
He's been
It's
gone
first
for a
one
long
back.
time. So
First one back. I'm not gonna worry about it.
yeah, I mean, honestly, you think about it, like he's got a lot more muscles now. He's probably moving a little bit slower because he's just jacked in every place possible.
There's no way he can scratch his back, right?
I'd be surprised if he could wipe his own ass at this point.
Yeah, it's just like it's like
yeah. So
no way.
No, it's not fair.
It's not fair. But
not fair.
At least I get to wipe my ass.
That's true, and I get to eat pizza.
It's true.
Anytime I want. So
I like pizza.
But yeah, I mean, good match. I mean, it's a great match. So War Games match, but let's be honest, it was overshadowed a little bit. Am I right?
Okay, I want to hold on before you do anything. I want to fucking say that the media made CM Punk overshadow Randy Orton, but in my heart, he did not. And I feel like in a lot of people's hearts, he did not.
I mean, you fucking ruined my whole thing here by saying CM Punk already. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Nicholas.
Spoilers.
Well, we all thought it was over. The little logo was on the end there. Nothing was happening.
Listen, we legit were like, oh, okay, it's over. No Punk. Okay, whatever. Yep. And we were playing like a game while we were like doing it, and all of a sudden, bam.
And there he was. On I was watching it with my two buddies, and we were like, the War Games match ended. We were like we thought something was going to happen, but we didn't think it was Punk. We just thought something more was going to happen on that pay-per-view. And then they put the logo up. And like, oh, really? That was it. Like, they got up. They were walking over to the bathroom to use the bathroom. They were about to – my buddy was packing up his PS5. Like, they were leaving. They were gone.
Yeah.
And then the music hit. And we all went, holy shit. And my buddy who was in the bathroom, he left. He came out of the bathroom.
Oh, my God.
His pants were barely back up because he was like, what the fuck? And then Punk really did nothing. He was there. What?
Didn't say anything. Didn't
say anything. Didn't touch anybody.
Nope. He hugged a fan. He hugged a couple of fans.
Yep.
That's it. You know what's funny? I really don't. I would have preferred something else.
Okay.
I would have preferred a different way of going about bringing Punk back than just doing it.
I mean, it's Chicago, so it had to be there.
I agree with that. I just think it should have been.
I don't agree with that. I think him coming back, no matter where it would have been fucking.
That's for sure.
Huge,
that's true. No
matter what.
But, well, I said before the pay-per-view happened that if he doesn't come back that night, that he's not coming back at all.
Mm-hmm.
That was just my full-on belief. It was like, if he's not coming back at Survivor Series, he's not coming back at all. So stop talking about it.
Right.
They weren't going to, but it doesn't matter.
Yep.
I wish it was more of like him like coming to attack somebody.
Sure.
Or like coming back to like start something with somebody. Like I would have much rather something like that, because him just kind of coming out saying hey and then the thing ends. I don't know. I just don't think it was as special as Randy Orton coming into the War Games match and winning.
Sure.
I just don't. I don't know. It was cool. Like, it was definitely like a surprise, and the way it was done, like functionally and everything like that, was great. But I just wish there was a different way they did it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because again, I've said it a bunch of times on here. You guys know, Punk is one of my all-time favorites. He's literally, 1B to HBK's 1A for me. That is how big of a fan I was of him. I do not feel good seeing him back. I just
really
no. Not at all. Even he came out on Raw, and I was like, nope, still don't like this. He really, for me, and I'm gonna give it time because whatever, maybe in time, maybe if he actually doesn't act like an asshole for a while, maybe I'll be back on the Punk train. I don't know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But he really left a bad taste in my mouth with the AEW stuff because I don't care what you want to say. As far as I'm concerned, Punk was the main issue there. You can say, the Bucks had a hand in it. You can say Jack Perry had a hand in it. I'm not going to deny that. But at the end of the day, Punk is a nearly 50-year-old man and who has been in the business for a very long time. And when you really look at the things that happened, the stuff that pissed him off, not that big of a deal. Grand scheme of things, very small issues. And made them so much worse by just being an asshole. So he really left a bad taste in my mouth with that. And also, for me, the fact that he came back to WWE after just a year ago, still shit-talking them all the time. It is clear to me that Punk is not back because he loves wrestling. He's not back because he loves the fans. He's not back because he loves WWE. He is back to spite AEW. And one of the reasons that I have always been such a huge Punk fan was not just his wrestling and his gimmick and all that, but it was because he is somebody that I also looked up to as a person because I saw a lot of myself in Punk. He was the first guy in wrestling to come out and say, hey, I'm straight edge. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any of that stuff. He's always been very anti-authority, and he's always stood on his beliefs, whether people liked it or not. So for him to just come back out of spite, it's not the CM Punk that I look up to. This is a guy who just came back just to spite another company, probably make some money, and then he's going to leave again. And maybe I will feel better in a couple months if he doesn't cause any issues. But right now, that is how I feel seeing him on TV. And then for him to come out on Raw and cut that corny-ass promo, which was not only corny, made me roll my eyes several times with the I'm home bullshit. But after everything that has happened, after being out of WWE for 10 years, and that's the promo that one of the best promo guys in the business comes back and cuts. Yeah. So that's how I'm feeling right now. I think, we're probably going to get him and Rollins at Mania. I think obviously that feud is coming. We saw all those videos afterwards. I'm sure that, Seth was just working. Seth is a professional. So I'm sure that he understands the money that's there and the opportunity there. And that'll be a great match, and I'm looking forward to it. But I don't feel good about seeing CM Punk in wrestling right
now. Okay. That's you have good points. I don't know if I necessarily agree all the way that he's here for spite.
Sure.
I think there's some of that. I think if anything, it's probably more towards people inside of AEW rather than like Tony Khan. I know no one really knows what happened that made Tony Khan say that he was threatened with his life and threatened with the employees' lives and stuff like that. No, I don't. As far as I'm concerned, that's never come out of what happened or why he thinks that way.
Sure.
So when people say stuff like that, I just tend to believe the person who believes that they're a victim, right?
Right.
So if you're a victim, you're a victim, right? So something happened, right?
At the end of the day, you can say whatever you want, but you cannot tell somebody else that they did not feel threatened.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what you feel. If they felt threatened and they believed it, then that's the truth.
Exactly. So that's where I'm at with it. So if he feels he was threatened and feels like his life was at risk with Punk that night and Punk being in the building, then that's how he feels. So that happened, and that alone would leave a sour taste in my mouth for Punk. On top of all that, I feel like Punk probably has more of a gripe with just people inside of it, like the Elite and maybe Eddie and Hangman and Jack Perry and a bunch of other people that are here. And just the whole thing of all that, and I think I would like to think that he's here to kind of maybe make that not the last thing that everyone remembers about him.
Sure.
Because that's certainly something I would do, like
Sure.
especially if I'm not that person, because I definitely know what it feels like to be on the other side of things that just aren't true at all. So if I'm looking to make my character, a little better, a little polished at least, I'm gonna go somewhere and make myself known that I'm just not that guy. So this is kind of his last chance to do that.
Sure.
I definitely think he's here to make money. He said that after his promo. There's no denying that. He's not here to, make friends, is what he said. But also, like, I agree with that. Like, don't come here to make friends. We're not here to hang out and have a good time. We're here to work. That
was a tribute though to Bret Hart.
Okay.
Bret once said that in a promo. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
Amazing. Yeah. I think that's part of that's real though at the same time.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I don't necessarily agree with the spite thing, but I can definitely agree with having a bad taste in your mouth for him. I have a lot of hope for a guy that I was never really into at all. Like I'm a fan through you guys. In a sense, like I know Khan's a huge Punk fan. I know you're a Punk fan. I know a lot of people are Punk fans. So that alone makes just me want this to work out. Just like, I don't want y'all to have this fucking terrible taste in your mouth for this guy who was like probably one of your heroes.
Right.
Like I don't want that for you guys, like at all. So it's like I want you to fucking be better so that way you guys can feel better about him.
Right. And I mean, if I hope that you're right though, Nick. And if that's the case, if he came back because he said, you know what, I really don't want this to be the last thing that people remember of me. I want to come back and change that. If he's gonna come back and not be an asshole, then like I said, in 6 months, my tune will probably change. But for me, it was almost like, with the stuff that happened with him in WWE at first, and, the fact that he already had a reputation, like, among wrestlers, even before that, for kind of being a jerk. I always defended him, because I was always one of those people where it's like, hey, you're sometimes you're going to piss people off. But you need to stand on what you believe. But for him to come back and what happened at AEW, I felt like an idiot because I was like, oh, everybody was right. Defended him all these years, and maybe he's just a fucking asshole. So if he's gonna come back and he's gonna go the rest of his WWE career, which I'm sure is going to be the end of his wrestling career, without having any issues and just putting on a good product, then like I said, 6 months I'll probably change my tune. But right now, I just, like you said, I feel very let down by somebody who I looked up to, not only as a wrestling fan, but just as a person.
Yeah. And also too, it's just like none of his promo leaned that way at all. Like none of his promos seemed like I want to make this better. I want to do like, it felt very, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money thing. Like it felt very like that. Like, so it's like right now it's not a whole lot of hope for that, but it's just like we got to give it time. If he's going to be here regardless of what we think about him. So it's kind of just going to give it time.
Yep. So we'll see what happens.
I'm excited for Randy Orton though. That's what I want. I can't wait for that. That's my shit.
Show this real quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Look who lost that one. Look who lost that one.
Hey man. I don't know.
You didn't give us our full gear ones though. You could have wiped the floor with Khan for all we know.
No, I don't know what happened. I think me and Khan won full gear. but I don't.
Probably right. Because I went with House of Black real hard that night.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I'm with you. Like, hang on, let me find it. Go away. Full Gear. Yeah, me and Con went 9-2, and you went 8-3. You picked Buddy and Christian and House of Black to win, and they all lost. And then Con picked Christian, House of Black.
Whoa. Oh no, you're right. I was gonna say, did I pick Christian? Because I thought that I said he was gonna walk out and that the Faces were gonna win.
I don't know. We can look. We can go back and check.
Because StreamYard doesn't. Well, yeah, there is. I have it. I've got it on the computer. So
yeah.
Because if that's right, you're not gonna fucking put me behind.
Oh no. If it's right, it's right. No, listen. Fight for your stats, bro. Don't let me just be the sole keeper of the stats. If you think you said something different, But
we're gonna have to review the tape on that one. We're gonna have to have it.
So you said Christian, right? And then you go, yeah, and I write Christian. So I don't know if that's exactly what happened or what, but we all picked House of Black to win, and we all lost that one.
Yeah.
And then you guys said Kenny and Chris, and I said the Bucks were gonna win. So I lost that one. But you both said, from what I have, you both said Christian, and you both said House of Black, and you both lost those ones. And then you lost when you said Buddy beating Claudio.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well,
but
we're gonna have to.
Here, my friend.
I was gonna say, do you have that in front of you?
Yeah.
These two.
Yeah, you got the.
You were gaining on Con. You were gaining.
I think Con still beat me by 1, actually. So if Con can have a bad World's End, second place, baby. And depending on how many matches there are and how many matches you get wrong, I could win. But that's that's asking a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not likely that that's what's going to happen. But.
You've only out of all the pay-per-views that we've predicted, you've only lost twice.
So you know what? The thing about that too is we gotta decide, because we talked about this before. We gotta decide where we are ending that, because at first we said, well, we started at WrestleMania, so let's go to WrestleMania. But then I realized when you put it up, the stats up once, we did WrestleMania predictions, and then we skipped a bunch of fucking shows.
Well, because we weren't on.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we weren't on. We weren't doing anything. So yeah,
we still go to Mania then, and then that'll just be our year.
Well, I think we should do what we're gonna do and then start over.
Right then?
I think we should start over. Yeah, right at the beginning.
Okay.
We're starting anew all the way. We should start all anew.
Okay. All right. I mean that's more likely that I'll win, so I'll go with that. That's for sure. Only got to get one more pay-per-view, basically.
That's fine. I'm just hoping you get them all wrong, and then I'll win. We usually agree on a lot of them, which is why this prediction thing kind of doesn't work. But sometimes it's just okay, well, I'm gonna just go with somebody to make it different, because then we all have the same.
I know that's where you mess up, especially you.
I do that a lot.
You do that all the time. Where you're I'm just gonna pick this to be different, and then you end up being wrong about it.
That's what happened in Survivor.
You put yourself in the hole here.
I picked Damage Control for Survivor Series just to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when we start fresh, we start fresh.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. So that's the end of that. That's the end of the show tonight. We're done. We've done more than 2 hours for you.
God damn. We got 2 hours and 10 minutes out of this.
Yeah. But Nick is alluded to it. There are changes coming. We will get into that a little bit more in the next couple weeks. We will be, I'll just say it now, is that we will be taking off the last 2 weeks of December. Yet again.
Happy holiday.
Yeah, we've got two more. Well, yeah, no, the last week of December, the first week of January, whatever.
No.
Christmas and
Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
Christmas
so we
and
got
New Year's.
two more shows.
I think they're both Sundays too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, well, Christmas is on Monday, but Christmas Eve is on
Christmas
Sunday.
Eve. The Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are both on Sunday.
And New Year's Day is Monday.
Yeah. So. Both of those are Sundays. We're not going to be here for New Year's. So
Yeah. But we will have an announcement coming concerning the future of the show. We'll get into that more before we take those last 2 weeks off. So be watching.
So just next week we have?
Next week will be because that'll be the 10th and then the 17th. And then we hit Christmas the next week and then New Year's after. So, yes.
So we have 2 more shows then.
Right. Yes. 2 more shows.
Okay. For whatever reason, I was thinking we had 1 more show.
What the fuck was that?
This is an iPhone thing. I just found that out. That it's an iPhone thing. If I do this, it does something, yeah. I'm on my girl's iPad, so it just does all that. And if I do this, I think it does.
You know what? I don't know where to go from there. That caught me very off guard. So I think that we're just gonna end it here. Watch next week, 6 o'clock Sunday. Goodbye.